Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Kaylana, the Blessed Driver here. I know I haven't been live with you guys in quite some time, and I've been thinking about you. So I am going to do a live video, and so I'm just going to wait till a couple people get on. And so what's today? Today is the 27th. I think it's the 27th of August, um, 2018. So I'm just going to wait a couple minutes here. I'm live, so I'm kind of switching between like my cell phone and my laptop. So yeah, I am trying to get this going. And I know it's kind of late. It's like almost 10 o'clock. And usually I would try to get on a little bit earlier. But that didn't quite happen. Hello. So if you guys just joined in, just, you can say hello or start asking questions. I'm going to start talking, to start chit-chatting with you guys about some stuff, what's been going on and, what I've been up to and things like that. So, but first off, I just wanted to apologize for not being on that much, and I try to vlog whenever I can. As you guys know, I have a lot going on, and so I've been trying to balance myself, and also I've been trying to rest, and so definitely, things have been kind of steady, but at the same time, trying to, do mommy stuff, do mommy duty and stuff, and take care of me and everything. So if you guys just joined in, go ahead and just give a shout out, say hello, and so I'm going to get this conversation going, because I do not have my laptop or my phone plugged in. So I want to make sure that nothing dies as I am talking. And I want to keep this at least 30 minutes and under. Hi, Phil. How you doing? How you doing, Phil? Bless you. So yeah. Okay, so first off, I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I'm glad you guys are here. I want to talk to you guys about Uber Eats, because I know some of you guys have seen some of the changes that Uber Eats had just recently updated. Oh, someone's name is Deja. I think that's right, if I'm pronouncing it right. Hey, Shamika. How you doing, Shamika? Bless you. I'm so glad you're here. I'm hoping that you like Uber Eats, because I'm going to talk about that real quick. Okay. So I know that some of you guys have already seen it now. Uber Eats Uber has updated their app. All right, that's what's up. I'm glad you're doing good. Okay, so Uber has updated the app, and I know there's been some changes, and so I was gonna initially do a video about it, but so I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna go into a whole lot of detail, because it's just, a lot of people talking about it, right? So as far as the changes to the Uber app, I know some people are like kind of half and half about it. They have like mixed feelings. Hi, Sandra, how you doing? And hi, Jim. How you doing, Jim? And so as far as the app goes, it's not that bad, but I think there's some things that they could have just left alone on the app. And it's like, I feel like I have to do too much to get to certain areas in the app, whether it's my earnings or referrals or whatever. And I have to go all the way around to do stuff. Someone just asked me, have you ever thought about doing TaskRabbit? They pay very well. That's a good question, Jim. And I'm actually, initially I started with TaskRabbit a while ago, but I never really did any assignments. And excuse me. And so now I know that they've changed it to where you have to pay like a $20 fee. And I think that covers like your background, but that also doesn't guarantee that you'll be on the platform. Now TaskRabbit wasn't here in Orlando for a while, but now they are. So I think they've been in Orlando for about a year now. And so I know there are people who do it and they do very well. Like for instance, if you were to watch Jermaine Ellis's YouTube channel, he does TaskRabbit quite often. And so, but I have not done any projects with TaskRabbit. I would like to, but I'm like, man, so now it's like 20 bucks to get in. So, but yeah, like some tasks, they pay very well. And I think that's a plus. But I think I may have to, forget about how much it costs and just get aboard, because their projects are very lucrative. And it's kind of like Roadie. Like I had reinstalled Roadie, and sorry to bounce all over the place, but I'll get to Roadie in a minute. But anyway, back to Uber Eats. So yeah, so like I've been doing pretty decent with that, but I think they've changed so much on the app to where it's kind of hard to get around to what you used to. Because remember how back in the day where we had the app, with Uber Eats, and you can just click one little link or one little button and it takes you right where you need to go. But now you got to press all these buttons. You got to like do all this extra stuff just to get to where you need to be. So it's like, okay, the app design is really nice. Whoever designed the app, it's really nice, and stuff like that. But I think it's too much. I think they try to make it look fancy. What I do like as far as the changes, at least for me, because I do mostly Uber Eats. I don't drive people really anymore, at least in this season, is that, they pay you for waiting. Like, it's like a wait fee. I like that. And so the other day, I like for like one order, I think I made like $14 for like a lunch order, because I waited in this restaurant for a long time. And so they paid me for that. And plus the customer gave me a tip and stuff like that. So that was pretty nice. Jim just said cashing out is very difficult on the new app. Really? Yeah. And I guess he's referring to Uber Eats. Like, I haven't had any problems because since Uber has updated the new, the app and everything, I've only did Eats maybe like twice, but I have not really done it too much. Like I said, I'm still loving Uber Eats and stuff like that, but they just did so much to it. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? And so like, I understand, like, as independent contractors, when we have questions, when we have issues, we have to submit bug reports, and we also submit, like our opinions about whatever's going on, if the app is crashed, if we want anything changed. And so we submit that to Uber, and they try to work around that. But still, even though the app is nice, it's cute, but still, they need to pay us more money. You feel me? And so that 35%, they need to just throw that out the window. Shamika just said, yeah, it's harder to find. And I had a horrible delivery yesterday. Jonathan, how you doing, Jonathan? Jonathan said, love what you do. So hard to find Orlando specific rideshare YouTube channel. Oh, okay. Oh, Jonathan, you're here in Orlando. That's what's up. I'm glad to see another Floridian, thank God. So yeah, guys. So like Uber, like I'm still doing Uber Eats and stuff, and I do it from time to time. But it's been crazy this past couple of weeks because, like I said before, at one point, like I've had some health issues, and so I don't like to talk about that too much because I kind of feel like that's like glorifying the issue, and it's not nothing like major, but like I said, I need some surgery, and so like I feel like that's going to be an issue for a while until I get that done. I have been applying for jobs, and so because I still want to stay on the platforms, but I wanted to do it part-time and stuff like that. And today I was talking this morning to my son about college because he's a junior now. And so he's been, he mentioned like a couple of colleges, expensive, like but he's a very smart child. So, he considered maybe Ivy League, but, he's talk about some colleges here. Yes. And the Orlando area, or at least in the state of Florida. So, I have to make sure that I stay on my grind and stuff like that. But Jim just said you can really make a lot of money at 28 cents per minute with Uber Eats. Well, maybe depends on where you are, especially like here, because I'm in Orlando, and so I'm not like in LA or in New York or Canada, because I know those Canadians, they make a lot of money with Uber Eats, and so it's amazing. I don't know how they do, but they make a lot of money. And here in the Orlando area, we don't have Quest very often, and so every once in a while, Uber may throw in a Quest for us to make some extra money. And I think that if they allow, now in Miami they have that, because I seen what's his name, Uber Dude. He's the African-American gentleman that's down in Miami, and he does Uber Eats a lot. And he also does Uber. And so he mentions that sometimes they have Quest down there, but we don't have that much up here. And so Quest add an extra bonus to that because it makes people want to go out more. Also with Uber Eats, if you guys have noticed this, they have almost like cut the boost in half. Like, it's been crazy because now you guys probably seen a video that I did last year where I made like $600 something in a week doing Uber Eats. Now that also included like $150 bonus, I think. And so, but even without the bonus, I still would have came up with like $500 something. The reason why that is because the boosts at that time were very high. And to do like a lunch between like 11 and 2 for Uber Eats at that time, the boosts were like 1.5. Now the boost may be like 1.1, maybe 1.2. And lately they've been cutting out the 5 to 9 boosts here in the Orlando area. Okay. So, we used to have boosts that were like 1.5, 1.4, 1.7x, from like 5 to 9 to get people out there to do the dinner rush. But now we don't have that, and so there's days now where it may be like 4 days where we don't get boosts at all between like 5 and 9, and that's crazy. So I think because we have so many, I think I'm not really sure why they're cutting the boost, but I'm assuming because they have a lot of drivers out. Maybe it's not that busy. I don't know. Jonathan just said I have been experimenting with Uber X and Eats and Postmates running in background to fill the gaps between requests. Problem with Postmates is losing time waiting at the restaurant. Yeah, I agree with that. And we can definitely talk about Postmates. Shamika says, yeah, only 1.2, 1.3 in Dallas lately. Yeah, and so, like, I'm not really sure. And I think maybe, guys, the reason why this is my opinion, I could be wrong, why they might be getting rid of the boost or at least diminishing it a little bit is because they probably feel like, okay, we've updated the app, we've made some changes, and so now we're paying you wait time. So whatever reason they want to give it, or maybe they gave us like an 11-cent raise or something, they can get rid of the boost. But there's so many factors in that, so it's kind of hard to really to say why. So yeah, but yeah, guys. Okay, and so yeah, that's what's been going on with Uber Eats. So I'm just trying to figure out why. But I'm not giving a whole lot of thought because I'm a little disappointed as to why like they've cut it. But so we're gonna come back to Uber Eats, and I want to kind of go on Aurora Night. Is that Dawn? Dawn, is that you? Jim says Orlando has a very high demand for Uber Eats. Yeah, it is. It's kind of busy here for Uber Eats and stuff. So it depends. Okay, I just want to make sure that was you, Dawn, because I know the name looked familiar, but I know that you changed it. How you doing? And so yeah, Uber Eats is pretty busy here in Orlando, but lately, like I've noticed that. How can I say this? Okay, let me tell you what happened last week. I think it was last week, the week before. I had got an Uber Eats order. When I went to accept it, it disappeared. Well, I think the app froze. Now, this is before the update. The app froze or something, right? And so it made it seem like I didn't accept the order. And I tried to, but it just froze. And so whatever. So other than that, I had no issues. I didn't cancel any orders, none of that. But the other day, they sent me an order. And for some reason, it was late at night. And for some reason, I accepted it. But I thought about, like, you know what? I don't want to drive that far just for like that little bit, piece of change. And so I canceled it. Now, I've noticed that whenever you cancel orders after you accept them, now this is just what I've been going through. And I've seen a few of the people say the same thing. If like you cancel an order after you accept it, sometimes it might be hard for you to even get any more orders after that. I don't know what that's all about, but I've noticed that like if you, and it's only once, I didn't do this more than one time. It was only one time. And so they sent me like this little pop-up saying, oh yeah, this is your first warning. We've noticed that you have not been accepting or they've been canceling orders. I'm like, I've only did one, and so I have not gotten very many orders since then. It's really weird. And so I don't know. Bravon says Instacart is busy in North Atlanta. Okay, that's what's up. Shamika says my app was freezing today and I couldn't accept some new orders. Yeah, see, I don't know what that's all about. And Aurora says, has Florida got the new system yet on accepting orders that they are testing out on Instacart? Aurora, that's not your name, is Dawn. Explain to me like what you mean. I'm not quite sure what you mean. So yeah, y'all. Okay, so once I get that question, I'm going to kind of go on to talking a little bit about the racism issue, because I've been encountering that quite a bit. And so, as you guys know, I don't do Instacart that much. I do it every once in a while. Sometimes I get on there and I do it every couple of months, maybe every couple of weeks. But sometimes I just hop on there sporadically, like whenever I feel like I want to make an extra piece of change, right? So I've noticed that certain areas, and I have to be honest with you guys, I'm very transparent. If you do your research, even online, it's been on the news that I think it says Florida is like the second state in the United States that has, I think it's second or third state that has the highest rate of hate crimes, hate groups, right? And I've noticed that even like since and I'm not just saying this just because I'm a Floridian, but I have encountered a lot of racism. Now, I think a lot of people don't understand like there's a difference between like a bigot and a racist. And so for me, the way I see it is a bigot are the ones that same issues, but they hide their stuff. But you know that they're prejudiced. You understand what I'm saying? Like they may not like you because of your skin color, because you're, you know, you're male or female, whatever. But whatever your gender is, whatever. And so, but you know that they treat you a certain type of way, but they don't come out and say it. They just kind of go around it. They'll even give you a tip, and stuff like that. I mean, they'll congratulate you, they'll pat you in the back, but you know deep down that they're racist. You see what I'm saying? And so like I've encountered some of that. And even today I was out in Daytona. I was out in Daytona Beach, and every once in a while I might go out to do like an Instacart order out there, depending on if I could pick up hours out there, right? Just to do it. But it's rare. It's very rare that I go out there. And so, but today I was out there for the first time in many months. And but there's an area in the Daytona area. It's called New Smyrna Beach. And for those of you guys that are Floridians, you know what I'm talking about. It's right in the Daytona Beach area. It's like a beach, for retirees and just, the beach area. But it's a lot of wealthy people there. And so, hey, Terry. Oh my gosh, no way. Terry Tips is on here. He's like sorry guys, sidebar. He's like one of my favorite rideshare people that come on here and do videos, vloggers. He is hilarious, y'all. Especially the one that he did a video, guys. It's called Bye. Y'all got to see that. Because I don't want to start laughing right now, but I'll talk about that later. Terry, you have to tell them about that video. That was screaming. Anyway, so yeah. So today I was out. I did a batch over in New Smyrna Beach. And so I noticed that because New Smyrna doesn't have a whole lot of African Americans there. And I've had friends even from high school that were from there back in the day, like back in the 90s, right? And so I would notice, like I would go into the grocery store to do an Instacart order, and people were just staring at me kind of funny. There was like no one there that was black that worked even in the public store. I think I seen one black guy, just one. And he acted like he couldn't even speak. So I was like, whatever. And so when I was there, I kept getting funny looks. And I'm thinking, I know they've seen black people before, And so, but I just ignore stuff like that. And so as I was checking out, I kid you not, I was checking out. And there was a young girl. She had to have been like no more than maybe 20, and she wasn't my cashier, but she was a cashier next to my cashier. And I guess because sometimes when cashiers don't have anybody like in their lane, they have to kind of stand out front and just wait for somebody. That's what she did. So she had all this space on the other side, but she was like, I was in the middle, put my stuff on the conveyor belt, and she came right by me. Kind of pushed my cart out the way and didn't say excuse me, none of that. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I get that sometimes from some cashiers. Now, this is my very first time ever being in this Publix. Nobody knows me. I've never been there before. And so I ignored that little pettiness. And so I just kept on doing what I was doing. So I was talking to the cashier a little bit, doing my thing. And for some reason, the girl, she kept looking back at me. Now, like I said, I don't know who she is. I've never been to the store, none of that. And so, but I'm a vlogger, so I think because of the issues that I've had in the past with some of the people at the public stores, I think I'm probably like a target. I'm assuming. I don't know. So, but I ignored it. I didn't look at it in no type of way, none of that kind of stuff. And so there was a bagger, I guess the girl that was bagging her groceries for her. They were saying something. They kind of looked at me, but I could see them out the corner of my eye. And so the girl that was bagging her groceries was like, ugh. Now she waited until she saw me. Oh, you know what? I keep smelling the smell, and then whatever, like the cashier girl was like, yeah, you smell it too. And so the bagger girl was like, yeah, like I've been smelling it for almost an hour. Now I was inside the store for almost an hour, not quite an hour. I would say maybe like not even 30 minutes, and they kept looking at me kind of funny. Something I know they're not talking about me. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I have no issues like that, but I think they're trying to be petty. So I'm thinking, these girls don't know me. I've never been to the store. Like, what's the problem? And I was going to say something, but you can't do that. So I was like, all right, whatever. And so they had kept saying it. And then the cashier, the girl, she kind of like looked at me kind of funny. I just pretended like I didn't hear what she said, right? So I went to the restroom and, I had to pee. So I got out, I got my groceries and I left. And after that issue, I thought about that for a second. I was like, were they trying me? And so later on, after I dropped off the groceries to those two different customers, actually, The customer I dropped out the order to, it's a very nice, wealthy couple. I've never, like I said, I don't know who these people are. Very nice people. But even as I was dropping off the groceries, I was feeling a certain type of way. And I was like, okay, because the woman, because I had no problem helping her bring the groceries in or whatever. Long story short, the husband comes out. Now, I was already done putting her groceries away because she brought out like this little cart. I put the groceries in there, and because this is an older Caucasian couple, maybe like in their 70s, I think. Very well to do. And so the husband comes down, he just stares at me. And I'm looking like, because you see what I have on? This is what I have on. I had on this orange shirt, some black pants. I was just professional. And plus I had on my Instacart badge. So professional, right? And they were looking at me like weird. I mean, she was nice. She gave me a cash tip and she also tipped me on the app. Really nice. And she's like, oh man, this is a really sporty looking car. I was like, okay, thanks. And this is like an older Ford Focus. So I was like, oh, thanks, you know. But the way he was looking at me, it was almost like, I can't explain it. You know how some people, for those of you guys that are African American, people are afraid. They think you're either going to rob them or you're going to do something. So they'll watch you. And that's how they were looking at me. But they were smiling. So I was like, okay, I see what they're doing. I'm not accusing this. I'm not accusing this of them of doing this, y'all. I'm just saying my perspective. It made me feel like a certain type of way. And they watched me hard, y'all. They both stood there, looked at each other, you know, like, and then they, you know, hugging each other, looking at me. So I'm thinking, why are they watching me like this? Because normally, like, they would have gotten their groceries and walked inside the house. They wanted to make sure I backed out of the driveway and drove off and was down the street. Then they went inside their house. I was like, man, you know, I'm thinking, why would you order groceries, especially like knowing that somebody that's African American can deliver to your house, you know? And I'm not crazy, like you know when a person's prejudiced, and that's, I'm not saying that, I'm not calling them this. I'm saying that situations like that, if they were that, people that are bigots are like that. That's why they'll smile on your face, they'll tip you, they're nice, but you know deep down in their hearts they're calling you. You know what I mean? Someone just said there are new systems where we can see the payout of the whole batch. Oh, you know what, Dawn? I have not seen, you know what? I didn't know that. I haven't seen it yet. Brevon says, who's first? What do you mean? Terry Tip says, hi, love. Thank you. I'm listening. And Dawn says, yes, I know that feeling. So, you know, I noticed in like certain areas here, and also I encounter racism, and I'm just being honest with y'all. I encounter racism, especially with Indian people. And this is no offense to anybody that's Indian. If you guys are from India, if you have Indian, your culture, whatever, it's not no offense, but this is what I go through. And this is even true. Like a lot of Indians do not like black people or people of a certain, even though their skin colors, some of them are darker than me or the same color, they just don't. And I remember I delivered to this one family one day. This was like earlier this year or last year, I think. And I remember the house. I'll never forget the house because I was chatting with a customer. And they're ordering from, I think, Whole Foods or something. And there's some things that were in stock and there's some things that weren't. But I made sure that I was communicating with them, and I put the order on their doorstep like they requested, because they said, if we're not home, just put it on the doorstep. And I did that. But I never paid attention to who they were at that time. And so then today, and then I remember that order, they marked stuff that was wrong, stuff that was missing, and they gave me a bad review and they didn't tip me. So I'm thinking, how? I had the same order today. Now I haven't did these people in months, excuse me, and it was them. I was like, oh my God. And I never knew that they're Indian. I never knew. And so, not that it matters, but I'm gonna get to where I'm going. And so tonight I dropped off the order, but I was at Whole Foods, and they there was some things that the Whole Foods no longer sold anymore. And so the customer never communicated with me at the app or whatever. And so long story short, once I got to the house, because I couldn't find the house because it was pitch black. It was like, but it was in a very, very, very wealthy neighborhood, very wealthy. And so, but you couldn't see the house numbers because it was so dark outside. So I sent them a message. I said, hi, good evening. Unfortunately, I'm not able to find your house. Can you please at least step out or maybe turn on some lights so I can be able to see your house number because it's quite dark. And so finally, the woman said, yeah, my husband's coming out, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I got to the house, and the wife was, oh, yeah, she was like, oh, yeah, can you call me at this number? So I'm thinking to myself, customers can actually call you through the app. And you can also call them. But I was picking up a vibe from her. Like, she wanted me to, I felt like she wanted me to be like a slave or something. So I said, unfortunately, we're not able to call out personal numbers because she gave out the number. Now I could have called her from the app, but she wanted me to call her at that number, which I'm not doing. And so my thing is, if I'm going to call you, I'm going to call you through the app just to make sure that everything is recorded. You know what I'm saying? And so once I got there, she had her arms folded and she was looking like she was mad. So I'm thinking, what did I do? And so the husband comes out. He's like, "Hi, how you doing?" I said, "Hi, how are you?" You know. And so, but she was looking like she was 38 hot. And so, like she was acting like she wanted to touch my hand. I was like, "Really?" But I kept my composure. I was like, "Hi, whatever." And so I was like, "Well, have a great night. Thanks." She goes back inside. Doesn't tip me. Whatever. So yeah, I deal with stuff like that. And so, you know, you can't, even when people act a certain type of way, when you know it's hatred, sometimes it's hard to prove because they could always deny it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, that's just the way I am, or that's just the way that they are, you know. And so, and like I said, especially here in Florida, I encounter a lot of that stuff. It's really bad here because you have a lot of older people, like I guess you could say older Republicans, and not to say that Republicans are racist or not, but I'm saying like older people, and especially people from different countries. And I think some people come here with that same mindset that people of a specific race are the same. And especially working in an industry like this where you're delivering groceries, they treat you like you're some type of indentured servant, like your servant. Jonathan just says, "See, it's ridiculousness." Like that makes it hard for folks to like me too. He says, "My Uber trips pulled me into the Pine Hills this week." Oh Lord, not Pine Hills, Crime Hills, and lots of trips, but folks be looking at me like, "Is white bread for real?" Oh. Brevon said, "You said Florida was second as far as racism. Who's first?" Oh, okay. What state is first? I want to say it's Oregon. I want to say it's Oregon. And I have to talk. I have to talk about that later. Someone says, "When and where can I do Uber Eats in Orlando?" He says, "Yeah, what's up with the mailboxes and without the numbers?" And Shamika says, "Yeah, Texas is rough too." So yeah, and so this isn't, now you guys, this doesn't just go for African Americans. There are also, like Jonathan says, there's some Caucasians that go through racism too. Because, for instance, some of you guys are like, "Well, what's Pine Hills?" Pine Hills is a predominantly, well, mostly predominantly black, probably like 85% black area here in Central Florida. It's mostly a lot of crime. It's also like a lot of Caribbean people, like Haitians, Jamaicans, a lot of Haitians. Jamaicans, Puerto Ricans, some Puerto Ricans, but mostly black. And so, but there are also some nicer areas, nicer parts in Pine Hills. And so, but I think especially if maybe you're doing Uber Eats or Uber and you go in an area, they don't see a whole lot of Caucasians until you probably get closer to like the Winter Garden area, most closer to Winter Garden. You know, like for those of you guys who are in London, you know what I'm talking about. Like once you get outside of Pine Hills, you know, like, you know, Winter Garden and, you know, a Coe, then you're all right, you know, or maybe closer to Edgewater and stuff. Shamika just said, "Grew up in deep Texas, had to deal with a lot of racism." Yeah, it's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. And Dawn just says, "How's Grubhub?" You know, I still do Grubhub. And it's crazy how things have been working out because it's like I manage. And so, you know, Grubhub, I mean, I could do Grubhub all day. But the thing is, guys, it's so hot here. I can't explain to y'all how hot it is. It is like, I can't say hell on earth because I ain't never been to hell. I ain't trying to go. But it is so hot. And it's like humid. It's like, it's that type of heat that sticks to you. You feel me? It's so hot. And today, like I've had to cancel a lot of my Grubhub blocks because it's been so incredibly hot. And today I was, where was I? Excuse me. I was out in the New Smyrna Beach and the Daytona Beach area. And you would think closer to the beach is nice, but it's so hot. I was like, I'm done. And and this morning I had to end my block early, and I didn't get a reliability on Instacart because it was slow. But, or did they give me the turtle? But whatever, I took it. It was just so hot. I was like, screw this. And so like, that's why like I don't do a lot of app-based gigs in the daytime like I used to, because I feel like the heat is different now. I feel like every year it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. It's just crazy. And I'm already at 30 minutes. I said this is gonna be under 30 minutes. Okay. Because I know people are gonna probably watch this later. Um, Bravon says Grubhub positions are full in Atlanta. No more hiring right now. Dawn says it's been hot and humid here in Cali. Girl. Yeah. Shamika says it's horrible heat. Yeah. Bravon says, am I pronouncing your name right? Is it Bravon? And Georgia is horrible. Yeah. And Miss Lee says, what delivery service do you prefer above others? That's a good question, Miss Lee. It's hard to say. Now, are you saying like as far as delivery, are you saying like food delivery or grocery delivery, just delivery period? Okay. All right. Thank you, Bravon. I would say I prefer Uber Eats over all of them when it's busy. I like Grubhub because it pays more. The pay, like, as far as the pay, I prefer Grubhub for pay over all of them because they pay very, very well. But I like the consistency and the flexibility with Uber Eats because I can get on and get off whenever I want. And when it's busy, you're like this all the time. You feel me? I can go to wherever area I want that accepts Uber Eats, and I can stay busy if I wanted to. That's one thing I love about Uber Eats is the fact that I can get on and get off when I want. I'm not penalized for it. They're not going to give you, well, they will penalize you if like you cancel orders or if you know, just stuff like that. But it's not, I like to get on and get off when I want. They don't pay as much as Grubhub, but there are times where you might get paid a decent amount of money with Uber Eats. I don't know. I just feel a certain type of way because Terry Tips got on here, y'all. I'm sorry. He is so funny. He's adorable. Okay, yeah. So if you guys, real quick, he didn't tell me to do this, but I want to do this because I feel like it. He has a really good channel. If you guys don't know who Terry Tips is, he is a rideshare driver out in Atlanta. I think he's in Atlanta, if I'm right. And he is so funny. If you guys can subscribe to his channel, it's Terry Tips. He's a light-skinned guy, bald guy with a thick New York, I think he's from New York or northern accent, and he is hilarious. So Terry Tips, shout out to my brother. So yeah, Ms. Lee says, gotcha, great info. But you know, guys, I do them all, but I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I'm in the process of actually looking for just a regular employment because, like I said, like I have a 16-year-old, and my son, like, he is really like wanting to do more stuff. He also wants to get a job for himself. And, you know, if I could just work full time and do this part time, I would still do these gigs part time. But for right now, also, like, I need better insurance, and open enrollment is, I think, in like a month. And so I'm looking at different healthcare plans. And so I want to make sure that I can be able to afford it because I'm actually going to get a better healthcare plan. You know, I have to go to the doctor. There's things I need to have done for me. And like I said, there's a surgery I need to have done. And so, like, if it doesn't get better, I'm going to have it. And so I have to think about, okay, if I'm out of work, you know, would they be able to cover, you know, like my bills and stuff? Because there are some places that have, like, what is it called? Paid leave. I think it's called paid leave or whatever. And so, you know, at the same time, like I said in my previous video, like, I don't want to start a job and then I have to have surgery or something, and then I'm out for a while, and then like I don't lose my job. So like I'm thinking about a whole bunch of stuff. So like I have health insurance, but it's not like the coverage that I need. You feel me? And so I still do Postmates every once in a while. Like I hop on there once in a while. But Postmates, like, I want to tell you guys this real quick. First, Postmates. Brevon just says Instacart and DoorDash costs of tips are so high. Oh, you're saying you like Instacart and DoorDash because the tips are so high. Start Postmates tomorrow. Okay, yeah. So like as far as tipping goes, like, and this is gonna be like a separate video because I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail about this because I know if I talk about it now, it's gonna kind of go off the subject. But I'm gonna do a separate video about tips because some people are really caught up in how much people tip you on some of these apps, and some things are beyond your control. You feel me? So do I get upset if people don't tip? I don't. Maybe a little disappointed, but I don't focus on that. And I don't focus on, okay, this order is so big, surely I'm going to get a tip, because that's not always the case. You know what I'm saying? And so people, and if you guys notice, I did a video months ago, and it said how I get tips from, I think, Uber Eats and Postmates. Now, I have a template that I use, and I just copy and paste usually after most orders. Sometimes I get tips, sometimes I don't. But I don't do the template. I don't paste it just to get a tip because that's not the point. It's to provide good customer service, right? And so I never said, hey, give me a tip. It's nothing like that. It's just, if you enjoyed your order, if you enjoyed your, thank you for ordering, please rate your service. That's it, really. And so that gives them a chance to even look at it, consider it. But, I don't focus on that too much. I just want to make sure that they give me a good rating. I care, believe it or not, I care more about my ratings than I do a tip. So this is me. And so Postmates, I know a lot of people complain, well, how do I make good tips with Postmates? What I do, as I did it in my previous video, because you have to look for it, I have a template that I use. And I go inside my notepad, like on my phone, I copy it and I paste it after each delivery. You can also do the same thing for DoorDash. Now, I'm with DoorDash, but I don't do DoorDash because from what I understand, their rating system is something serious. And I heard a lot of people are getting deactivated for pettiness. And so DoorDash's rating system is almost like Postmates because people rate you for silly stuff, and then like Postmates would threaten to fire you. I think Postmates, because Postmates has some really good restaurants, I think that they would do a lot better if they did their marketing, if they just revamped the whole marketing plan, if they did away or revamp the whole rating system instead of trying to throw people away if the rating is low, which may have nothing to do with them. They may go to a restaurant where there's a long wait, or maybe they got an order that's been bounced around. It's a whole bunch of factors, and so they punish you for that. Or a customer could be lying and just to get something for free, and then you get punished for it. You see what I'm saying? Some of that. Ralph just says, how do you encounter racism? Okay, so Ralph, like, what do you mean? Like, how do I encounter racism? Like as far as in what way? Oh, Shamika says, I'm going to do his page. I'm going to go to his page. Yeah, Terry's funny. Oh my God, he's so funny. Jonathan says, try DoorDash here in Lake Mary, Sanford, North Orlando, blah, 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 for dinner on weekdays. But I get frustrated because few requests and DoorDash does not like running in the background or navigate away. Okay. Yeah, Lake Mary is not that bad. Lake Mary can be very busy. Sorry, sidebar, I'm talking to Jonathan. Lake Mary can be very busy, especially on the weekends. Like, very busy. But their boosts aren't that high, and I don't know why. Yeah, so Lake Mary can be very busy. Somebody said, Aflac has great disability supplement that could pay your bills while you're out due to work and medical. You know what, Bravon? I actually submitted a request online for Aflac, but and a representative called me, and I'm probably wrong for this, but I'm gonna tell you what happened. So it was an 888 number, and I didn't recognize it at first, so I kept ignoring the call. So finally, I answered it one day, and it was a representative from Aflac, but she was talking so fast. Hi, this is da 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 da, and she sounded, I hate to say this, it sounded so, but it sounded like she was reading from a script, and I could hear nothing she was saying, and she made me feel like I was just like another, what do you call it? Like another lead. That's how she made me feel. It wasn't like, hi, good morning. My name is such and such. I'm calling from Aflac. How are you doing today? I'm good. How are you? I'm great. Thank you. Well, the reason why I'm calling is because you fill out a form online requesting some information. Is that correct? She did none of that stuff. She was just going, she was reading from, she was saying so fast, and she was so ghetto. I was like, you know what? I hung up the phone. So with the Aflac chick, she's not getting my business, so I had to probably call them back because I thought Aflac was only for people who had like regular jobs, like they had like a regular employer. You can get it that way. That's what I thought. So I don't know. Yeah, Brave, and I hung up. I was like, you know, I know you're not talking to me like that. Click. I didn't say that, but I just hung up. and Ralph says, how do I encounter racism with my customers? Because I encounter a lot. It depends on how bad it is. I've never had a customer to call me an N-word, but today, when I was out there in like the New Smyrna Beach, Daytona area, as I said before earlier, after I dropped off those orders, I went to a Wawa to get some gas. I kid you not, I walked inside the Wawa and I was getting ready to pay for my gas and pay for my latte. And I was at the register. It was like a long line, but the guy at the register, I think he was black. He could have been maybe Afro-Latino, but I'm assuming he was black. and he had like you know, like long dreads and stuff. And there was a guy, I think he was the manager of Wawa. It's hard for me to tell because he was entering like this little change machine and like up at the front for like donations and stuff. But he was on his phone, but he had an earpiece and he was saying stuff like, oh, he was talking about Tiger Woods, talking, and he said something about race issues, and he started making comments about Tiger Woods only liking elite women. And one of the guys that was in front of me was talking to him about stuff. I'm looking at these two guys like, don't they know that there's black people in this line? But I was in an area where there wasn't a whole lot of African Americans anyway. And so I'm looking around like, because, you know, people do stuff like that. Because especially if you are in an area that's predominantly a particular race, they figure you can't do anything because most likely because you're by yourself. So who's going to stick up for you? Not that other people of other ethnicities won't stick up for you, but especially here in Florida, they will try you right in front of you. Like today, they will try you right in front of your face. They don't care, you know. And so I'm careful even dealing with customers because you don't know, because Florida has what they call stand your ground. And I know you guys have heard what happened in Tampa, I think like last month or month before last, where the guy, I'm not saying it was his fault. No, he should have just chilled out and just left it alone. Fighting over a parking space, because a handicapped parking space that he shouldn't have parked in, and the guy came out and they're arguing, pushed the girlfriend, and the black guy got shot. He should have just walked away. But I don't say stuff because you know how people are feeling. You don't know if they're packing. And so even if a person offended you or called you out your name, I'm just careful of like what I say, even my body language, because you don't know if a person may think you're going to attack them and then they could shoot you or something. And Florida has, like I said, Florida has that law. Like I said, it's called stand your ground. So if you feel threatened or if a person's coming within your vicinity and you feel like they're going to attack you or whatever, they can legally shoot you and kill you. So, you know, for me, I'm just so careful about what I say and do, even when customers treat me wrong, because I don't want to give them that satisfaction. Say, see, they're all like that. You know what I mean? And especially dealing with a lot of older people who have a certain type of mindset, because even people from older generations, they're all of them aren't like that. Everybody from certain generations aren't a certain type of way, but some people are set. Some people have a certain mindset, and they're stuck like that. And so a lot of people give that excuse. Well, you know, I was brought up like that. But my thing is, a lot of people were brought up a certain type of way, but as they got older, their mind changed. You know, that the attitude changed, so they don't feel prejudiced anymore. And so I just try to keep my mouth closed unless I feel like they, you know what I'm saying? I've heard of some delivery people and rideshare people like, you know, get out my car, you know. And even like with rideshare, that's one thing I do not like when it comes to rideshare, is when people get up in your car and they disrespect you. And I know how I used to be. Like, I used to be ready to fight all the time, but because I usually don't say nothing. Like I usually don't say nothing. But that's why I don't do rideshare that much anymore, because people get up in car and like they'll say stuff. And I had a customer do that to me the year before last. It was I think he was Latino, but it's hard to tell because he looked like he was maybe Italian, but his last name was Latino, like Spanish, right? And he was making like little comments about my hair. Because I wear wigs usually, because I usually don't wear my natural hair out that much. But I like your hair, you know, trying to be funny. And it's making like little comments, you know, racial comments. And so I wanted to pull over and tell him to get out my car. But I was taking him to the airport, you know what I'm saying? And so I try to be as courteous as possible. But I know some people aren't having it. Like, I know a lot of y'all be like, nah, bro. You know? And so like I usually don't say much of nothing. But I would always go to like whatever app I'm doing. I will let them know what had happened if it's that bad. Brevon says, yeah, call them back. What do you mean? Yesenia. Oh, hi, Yesenia. She says, hi. How you doing? So yeah, that's like, I mean, it's crazy, y'all. Like I encounter some stuff, but I would rather. I mean, I'm not saying I want this to happen, but I mean, I would rather encounter a racist than I would a bigot, because a bigot conceals their feelings. And they're the ones that smile on your face and go right behind your back and then give you a low score or a very poor rating. You feel me? And make little comments, but kind of dance around the issue. But the people who are flat out racist, like they basically let you know how they feel about you or how they feel about somebody. You know, and those people, at least I know how you feel. You see what I'm saying? And so I try not to I try not to like let it bother me, because these are the times that we're living in, you know, and you're gonna encounter that with all kinds of people, you know, and it's not just African Americans. There are some people who don't like Asians. There's people who don't like Latinos. You know, there's people who don't like, you know, like gays or whatever, and there's people who, you know, who don't like white people. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. And so you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt. Doesn't mean you have to put up with it, but you have to kind of know your limits. And so I'm just careful and like my response to stuff. Like tonight when I dealt with that Indian family, I already knew how she felt about me. Because some people feel like they're above it, you know, but I still smiled. I gave her groceries and I left. But I know with Instacart, you can't necessarily see. Wait a minute, I think you can now. Can you? I think you can because they kept changing it to where you weren't able to see. First you were able to see what customer you were delivering to, and then they took that option away, and now they have it again. And so you know, like there's some people that you know that are gonna mistreat you or talk about you or just dog you out, and you don't want to deal with it. And sometimes it's hard because if you're on like some of these app-based things, and you might not always see who you're picking up or who you're delivering to, whatever. And so it's kind of hard, you know, because you can't say, you know what, I don't want to deal with them today. Shamika said, last and evil days come quickly, Lord Jesus, girl. And it's going to get worse, you know. But yeah, so I got to go up because like I have people asking questions and make comments. So yeah, Ralph, I hope that answered your question. Hope that's okay. But yeah, somebody just mentioned Affleck, Bravon about Affleck. Yeah, like I said, I was trying to get with the lady last week, but I don't like the way she was dealing with. She didn't have good customer service skills, and I probably shouldn't have hung up, but I couldn't take it no more. She was talking really, really fast, had this really thick Ebonic accent. I couldn't do it. Nah. So I am going to look back into Affleck again, and I'm trying to figure out how that's going to work, especially being like doing app-based gigs, how that's going to work out because my income isn't always consistent, you know. Sorry, I don't know what my voice always does. It always cracks. It's been like this for years. It keeps cracking. So yeah, yeah, guys. So if you guys have any more questions, I have been on here for like almost 50 minutes, and so this has been a really long time. And so I'm sure that people who are going to see this at a later date, they're like, man, this is long. But this is a live video because most people keep up their live videos and stuff. So I hope I've answered your questions and stuff. But I know someone mentioned stuff about Instacart. Was it Dawn? I have not seen the updates. Oh, you're welcome, Don. As far as yet. But, you know, I'm just disappointed about Uber Eats. They've changed so much. Like, they've changed. Like, I'm like, why are you guys taking away the boost? Like, I don't know why. I like it. But like I said, y'all, like, I'm looking for a regular job. But I'm trying to, I feel like right now I'm juggling so many hats. And maybe that's why my blood pressure's the way it is. But, like, I'm doing so much all at one time. You feel me? And, but for me, like, I have to do what I have to do. And, you know, I got 2 more years. And so, like, also, like, got student loans I got to fix. And I'm very surprised. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, I'm very surprised that I even get, like, referrals. Like, believe it or not, like, I get a lot of referrals, bonuses and stuff. And so, but I don't believe in just relying on those. You know what I mean? And so, like, doing these app-based gigs, like, I don't like to get on here and lie. I see a lot of rideshare people, they do that. They'll make these videos, and it's like, yeah, you make all this money, make all this money, make all this money, but not talking about the pros and cons of anything. And so, to me, I feel like that's like taking advantage of people. So, like, you guys ask questions, I'm going to be honest, but this may not be for everybody because different states are different. Different cities are different. Different areas, you know, regions are different. But things are changed so much. And so, you know, you can still do good on a lot of these app-based gigs, y'all. Like, you can still do good on Instacart if you get the right zone, the right areas. You know, you can still do pretty good with that because there are a lot of people who still do it, and they do very well. I know Postmates has been a challenge for some people, but whenever I get on Postmates, it's pretty steady depending on where I am. And I know sometimes people are so concerned about tips with them, but like I said, I use a template, and if you go back and look at my video, you'll see it. It's called, I think, How I Get Tips on Postmates or Uber Eats or something like that. But you know, I don't ever ask for tips. It's just I want to make sure I provide good customer service. Shamika says, good night and have a good week. Okay, you too, Shamika. Good night, honey. Hi, Dawn. How you doing? So if you guys have any more questions, let me know, because I'm getting ready to get off of here. And I'm kind of hot. I don't know why I'm so hot, but yeah. Any more questions? Because I'm getting ready to head out. And I'm going to do some more videos. And I know there's some things that I said that I would talk about. And if I mentioned it before, guys, please send me an email. Because sometimes I forget. Sometimes I get busy. And I might not keep track of that. And I should probably take notes as I'm doing these videos. But if there has been something that I mentioned that I said that I was going to talk about or do a video on and I haven't, just shoot me an email. Because I know sometimes people put it in the comments. And sometimes I don't get my comments. It is really weird. Like, even though like I moderate them and stuff, I have seen comments that people made 8 months ago. I'm thinking, how did I miss that? And even if I were to log into YouTube, it's like, sometimes they don't pop up until months later. It's crazy. And so emailing me will probably be the best thing if you really want to get me to do videos, because I try my best when I can. But hopefully Postmates will pick up. They're busy whenever, you know, it's kind of like hit or miss with them. And they're not too bad, but like when they're busy, you can make some pretty good money, especially if people tip you. If they don't, then you might not make as much unless the delivery is kind of far. You understand what I'm saying? And so, but yeah, I just feel like I'm so hot. Like my AC is, I know my AC is on, but anyway. So anyway, guys, I hope that answered your questions. You're more than welcome to comment below. I'm going to get off of here, but I hope that blessed y'all. So good night. Peace.